Uh, First of all, just give a huge thanks to Lift Ladies in Film and Television. You know, we're basically just kind of giving opportunities to those who are interested in filmmaking, those who are, you know, pursuing that passion. I call it that God path, you know, following that passion. And so I just want to say a shout out or a thanks to Lift because they are truly underguarding or under, you know what it is, lifting the shoulders up of people who are really trying to make it in this industry. So big ups to them. All right then, so welcome to my masterclass, Production Assistant, the superhero the film set never knew they needed. Now, I hope you like my title because I do believe that the production assistants are truly the most undervalued position in the film set. Yet there cannot be any film that can tell you that they were successful without a production assistant. So that's the reason why I label PAs or production assistants the superhero that the film really don't know that they really need. Um, Okay, so let me introduce myself. Okay, first let's do our quote. No form of art goes beyond ordinary consciousness as film does, straight to our emotions and deep into the twilight room of the soul. So filmmaking in itself is just, it's an art form that truly, if you are following its path, you are stepping out in a state where you're just, it can be a scary thing, but it also can be a very truly enlightening experience. Y'all forgive me, you know, I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to want to talk real fast. I'm trying to slow myself down. So who am I? Why should I be teaching this class? So just a quick moment to say that I started out as an underwriter. I was 20 years in the financial business. And then maybe about 6 years ago, I said, you know something, there was something in me that, you know, I was going to work, but there was something in my spirit that it was just like, I want to be free. You know, what is that? And I had to explore that. So what I found was a desire that I had let go in my younger years when I became a mom and, you know, life happened. And I said, you know, maybe it's time to pick that up. So I went to film school and I felt this was my passion. I wanted to be the director, the producer, all of those things. And when I graduated, I needed somewhere to go. So of course, my very first job was a production assistant. And so let me tell you, 6 years later, you know, it's been a ride. I'm not a production assistant currently, but I have friends who call me, you know, that I'm willing to definitely put PA on their projects. And because they call me because they know that, hey, I'm going to do a phenomenal job, and they want me on their projects. Okay, so look at this. Why a masterclass? So the reason why I'm really passionate about this class is because because now I have worked as a first AD or first assistant director. I've worked as a line producer. I've worked as a producer. I've worked in other areas. And one of the things that I always see when people come on as PA is that they never truly understand the importance of that job. And either they blow it off, like, you know, they want to be a director, they want to be these things, but they treat the production assistant role, you know, like it's not, they don't treat it seriously. And so they go in kind of with a half-hearted, oh, I'm just doing this until I get there, not realizing that this position, this role is pretty much everybody's eyes are on you, and it has the potential to open up doors of opportunity for you. So I really wanted to give people who were interested in, if you are a person, you just want to know, you're a filmmaker and you want to know what different departments do, or you're interested in being in certain departments in the film industry. The production assistant is going to be the entryway to those opportunities. Whew. Next slide. Okay. All right then. So a production assistant, production assistant is an entry level position in the film. Many times you have people who are like, oh, I want to be a director, I want to be a producer, or you've just graduated from film school and you want to come out the bat and you're just ready to rock and roll. Well, no, there's not going to be any projects that are going to let you come in and be a director, especially if you're thinking about Marvel or not Marvel, but MGM, Sony's, the big productions. They're that you did well in class, but how are you to work with? The production assistant role is what determines that. The role of production assistant is generally viewed, again, as I said, entry-level position in film, television, and commercial industries. PAs provide support to almost all areas of the production. You may also work in different departments, which can help you also determine where you fit on set. If your goal is learning the true art of filmmaking, or if you're looking to work in a specific department, being a production assistant is a great way to gain knowledge of various departments on film and how they work well together. I'm gonna put this over here. It's also a great entry point to get hired into those individual departments. Many times, if you're interested in a particular department, you can speak with the production supervisor of that department and let them know of your interest. If you have shown that you are a good PA, they may hire you on that project, or just say if you come in as a set PA and you're just kind of like doing everything, and you talk to the costume department and you say, I'm really interested in, this right here. If they see you working on set, they may pull you to work in their department for that particular project, just to see, okay, is this a good fit? You do well, the next project, guess who they're gonna call? You. So let's see, okay. So what is it? Guide to which department? I think I did that. Okay, so starting out as a PA also weeds out, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. But starting out as a PA weeds out many who have an idealistic view of filmmaking. And once they've worked as a PA, they may decide that it's not what they wanted. PA work is hard, everybody. I can't stress this enough. Being a PA is hard work. I mean, you're generally on set, you're the first person on set, and you're the last person to leave. You're doing the work that no one either wants to do or have the time to do. You're cleaning, mopping floors, you're filing paperwork, you're running errands, or sometimes you're just making sure everybody has coffee. You have to be prepared as a PA to be able to handle the menial work in the film industry. But it also allows you to cut your teeth, so to speak, and then earn your stripes. Next slide. Okay, so, I didn't even listen. I forgot about that. But then I think I just went over that, which is what we said, the entry level into filmmaking. So go to the next one. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm speaking fast, y'all, because the production assistant, I really could go hours on, but I pretty much took a lot of my experience and things that I learned from other different sets, and I just kind of condensed it into this hour. But I could really go into some other levels. But I'm just getting you ready, so when you get on that first set, that people won't say, oh my gosh, they're not experienced. No, when you're done with this class, you should be able to walk onto any set and people say, oh, I think I want to hire her again. I'm not going to put that in writing because I don't want nobody suing me. Praise God. Okay. So the different types of production assistants. So I have heard many things about the different types of production assistants. I'm going to tell you what I have found to be true in my universe as being a production assistant. There are three types of PAs. The first one is the field production assistant or set PA. That production assistant is normally available on film sets during filming. They're often tasked with keeping the set clean, managing rental equipment, helping transport cast and crew, sometimes taking food orders. Pretty much, if something needs to be done, you're doing it as a PA and you're generally on set. Now, I have some people say, well, no, there's the costume PA and the wardrobe PA. Well, no, there's still set PAs because when you're on big projects, these are big projects, and I'm coming from a different perspective from a smaller project than a big project. When you're on a big project, there's costume, there's makeup, there's wardrobe, and every last one of those departments, they have a PA, and you are the set or the field PA for that particular department, okay? So yeah, so even though you're in the wardrobe department, it's still a set PA because you're on set. Now, another one that people like kind of gravitate to is the office production assistant. Now, the office PA, they work in the production office and they help out with the clerical work that needs to be done. They spend most of the time answering the phone, handling paperwork, keeping the office clean. If there's any scripts that need to be organized, anything dealing with the clerical work, the office PA will be the person to do it. So you may not be a person who wants to be on set. Maybe you want to be the casting assistant. Maybe you want to get in casting, or maybe you want to handle the logistics. You know, the office thing. Maybe that's your passion. So there is a hierarchy or a step in which you can get into that area of filmmaking. Now, the third one, I just recently, a couple of years ago, started when I would look at the cast because I love looking at the credits at the end of movies. So I started seeing post-production assistants. And I was like, So what a post-production PA, they support the film crew members who work on the footage after filming. They help the editors and producers by organizing content, keeping the offices clean. If the editor needs anything, footage, whatever it may be, guess what? The post-production PA is the person to do it. So okay. So the next one, next slide. Okay. So now I'm gonna tell you, when I was first out there, I really wanted to make sure I was researching my position, making sure that when I got on set, I just was aware. And so I actually borrowed, this is not something that I made up, but I had to steal it because he said it on his website that we could, but it's by the production assistant pocket. I'm find the link and put it in there, but he uses, and I love it. It's called the STAR method. And it's super, super amazing. I promise you it will, this in itself is enough to get you on set and make you look good. So the first one is SWIFT, which is traversing space or performing movements in a brief period of time, acting with readiness. Prompt. In other words, boogie, run to your car. If someone asks for a 3/8-inch bolt, say no problem and leave in a brisk gallop. Don't ask for it or what it is or where to get it. Just leave and find a grip to help you. I cannot stress to you because most of the time, time is money. And so when you're given an order, you need to go. I had an example. I was producing, I was an assistant AD for a project, and we had a hard stop, which means we had to be out of this building at a certain time, no way past go. So we're filming, we're like trying to get everything done. So we needed a prop. So I turned to the PA and I said, hey, go in there and get that prop. He says, okay. He turns around and starts walking. So I was like, okay, well, maybe, because I couldn't really see him. After 2 minutes, we're everybody's sitting around here just waiting. So I run down there. I open up to go be like, where is he at? He's talking, he stopped, started talking to somebody. So I was like, so I run in there, get the prize. He was like, oh, I was going to get it. But I'm thinking, no, we asked you 2 minutes. We've been waiting for and 2 minutes may not be a big thing, but when you're on a hard stop and you got to be out of there, 2 minutes is, that's, you can't spare 2 minutes. So I can tell you now, people with a PA, they like to see people going, having a mindset. You tell them to do something, they're room. Not like, how you doing? That little gate or whatever. They want to see you go. Boom, boom. And when you're on bigger projects, you will see, sometimes you don't see it on smaller ones, but big projects, honey, when it's like the light coming on with roaches, when they say go, people say poof, and they scatter. I'm telling you. I'm just saying, they do. They scatter. So the second one is tactful. A quick or intuitive appreciation of what is fit, proper, or right. Skill in avoiding what would offend or disturb. Considerate. Basically knowing when to keep your mouth shut and smile, and when to add a bit of value input if necessary. When to be where you're needed, and when to leave when you're in the way. Someone said something, reading the room. Folks, I'm gonna use examples on each one of them. One guy, PA, he starts talking. Do I need to tell you, leave your religious beliefs and your political beliefs out of the filmmaking? I mean, everybody's here, everybody believes different. That's not the time to start telling people. It's just not the time. So he starts talking. He wasn't even aware that nobody was listening. Everybody, it had gotten uncomfortable, and he was just talking. Well, so here's the thing when we talk about knowing, keeping your mouth shut, knowing when to say, and if you're adding something, add value to the set. Start talking about something that maybe on the set, not about some ambiguous thing that has nothing to do with filmmaking. Aware, conscious, I can't say that word. I can spell it, but it's cognizant. I think I said it right. Mm-hmm. Alert and informed. Always pay close attention to how you are affecting others. Read that call sheet. Oh, please read that call sheet so that you know where you're supposed to be and what is supposed to be happening. When things get hectic, take a deep breath. Don't panic. That goes back to reading the room, guys. Just being alert. Many times when I'm standing and I'm listening, I'm like, and I hear somebody say, hey, is I think somebody's running late on the crafts. I may turn around and say, do you need me to set that up for you? Thinking ahead, what I'm saying? Those type of things, listening and just being aware of what's going on and what you can do. Now, if you walk in, and maybe you give your, hey, you want me to do this? If they say no, that's cool. Back up, just wait, but at least be caught saying, I want to add value, anything I can do to help out this project. People love that. Resourceful, capacity for finding or adapting, skill or ingenuity in meeting any situations. Versatile, try to think of solutions to problems, even if they're not yours, okay? Kind of like carrying a Swiss Army knife. Sometimes when you see the person, the camera person, and he's like, man, you're at a quick change and you're trying to unscrew something, he can't find, pull it out your little fanny pack. We'll get to that. Say, hey, I got you. Woo. Be resourceful. Have things around you that where if something happens, like a power backup or a rain slick or something that and I'm gonna give you an example. I said I was gonna give an example. I was on a reality show with the Discovery Channel. And so the first day that we was there, oh my gosh, it was so hot. It was like the devil spit on us, right? It was just that hot. And so, oh my gosh, we were dying. Well, I was PA when I started on the show. And so the next day I had brought my umbrella. I had some sunblock. I got, it was just little things that I just brought that I felt like, okay, but like, hey, thanks, Freedom. You know what I'm saying? So, just those type of things that people were like, oh, and I ended up being production coordinator when they did the next episode. Doop, 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 doop. I said to say that. Okay, so I'm just saying, being resourceful. Okay, next slide. It's going good. All right, then let's talk about, I should have said, show me the money. Let's talk about career and salary. So career outlook now. So again, I think I said this, I think that's the next slide, isn't it? Is there? So we're going to talk about career outlook, salary. Don't be afraid to negotiate sometimes, and career past tense, focus on your career goals. I think the next slide is going to show the career outlook, will it? Okay, awesome. All right then, so career, again, most everyone is going to cut their teeth as a PA to earn their stripes. I don't know how much I can add to that. Everyone that, whether they're the top producer, I mean, think of someone that you know and admire, they were a production assistant. Long hours. Can you're going to be on a set for sometimes 10 to 12. It amazes me when I see production assistants who've been there for 8 hours and then say, can I go home? And I be thinking like, really? We'll ask you that. Okay. But it's long hours. You're looking at 10 to 12 hours. If you're on a big project, I mean, a big project with a lot of money, they're going to pay you for that time. They're going to pay you for that overtime. But I've heard, I haven't been on a project myself where it went over 12 hours, but I'm just saying OT is paid. They try not to do that often, but it has happened. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. PA is the first person on set, and they are the last person off the set. If you are a PA and you have left and people are still there, you're doing something wrong. Because if there's cleanup, there is putting the location back together. Yeah, they're the first one there and the last one's gone. Now, most PAs, because when I came in, I was a little bit fresher, right? But a lot of PAs are very young. The reason doing is that most people don't stay in the PA position very long because there's really no benefits. You're not going to get paid more money. The best thing is to go up in the chain of command, go up in that ladder to your next position. So I saw a lot of people who were young and they were just kind of doing their time to get their experience until they could get on to their next definition, which brings me to the last one, is that you definitely need to have a clear vision on where you want to go in film. There's no one being a production assistant for 20 years that I know of. Most of the time, you'll have people asking you, they'll start asking you what it is that you want to do, because it's not geared for you to stay as a production assistant. It's geared for you to figure out, hey, if you're a director or a producer, I mean, being a production assistant is just going to basically give you the ins and out of different departments and how it works together. That's not going to help you get a lot. Most of the time, being a director or producer, you just need to go direct something. You need to go produce something. But it still gives you a view of, if you're interested, okay, this is how the fundamentals, how these things work together. If you're someone who's trying to maybe be a first assistant or AD, or if you're trying to be in a particular department, you should be focused on getting into that department, working your way to the next level, getting more responsibilities. So again, stay focused on your path, because being a production assistant, you shouldn't be a production assistant for 10 years. I'm just saying. I mean, unless you just like hanging around newbies. I mean, like they're coming out of like 21 and you're like 40. Trust me, I'm gonna give you a story. Like I said, I was, kind of fresh. I was fresh, but I was hanging around a lot more fresher PAs, right? So, honey, I had to get up the energy, because them jokers was like, I was like, well, let me run with the Eagles. I had to, to get up the energy. I couldn't stay behind. But I'm saying it is not for a fresher like me. You know what I'm saying? You got to get in, get what you need to do, and kind of move on to that next level. That's my advice for you. Okay, the next slide. Okay, so the average salary for PAs range anywhere from 30. I put 33, but I changed it to like about 30, 31 to 45, which still is more than minimum wage. I think minimum wage is like 23 or is it 18,000? So you're still making more than minimum wage for Texas, that is. So so that's PAs are paid project to project. So just you have to be okay with those little gaps. Your work is considered freelance. Now, your daily rate, I love this part. Most of the time for PAs, daily rate should be anywhere between 150 to 250, depending on job level and level experience. Now, have y'all ever seen on those little things where they say, hey, we need a PA, and they'll say credit and food. Now, I'm not knocking that because in the very beginning, when you're trying to get your resume together, those are the best jobs. And when you get those jobs, treat those jobs like you're preparing for the big $1 million budget, right? So come in with the same attitude, with just as if you're on a Sony production or a Netflix production or whatever. But I put here that normally negotiating a PA rate is tough because there's so many people who want to be a PA to kind of get their resume full, okay, sorry, I got a cat here. They're vying for jobs, but don't take pennies. If you know that you've done a couple of jobs, you have the PA under your belt, you're good, at least say, hey, I need gas money. I need 75 bucks. There's, like I said, in the very beginning, I was taking free work. It didn't matter because I was just trying to gain experience. But once you gain experience and you get under your belt, know your worth. And at that point, you're like, hey, I need $75. I need 50 bucks. I can't travel to over here and not have gas money, something. So that may, I'm not going to say you're going to get it because again, there may be somebody who could do it for free, but just know your worth. And that might be the time for you to start kind of going to applying for other positions in other places. Career path. Okay, so really there's not a really, other than, again, PA position is the baseline for becoming a approved person. Every department needs a PA. Yes. Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. PA work is plenteous in areas in which films are being made, but don't be discouraged. There are plenty of opportunities in your area. So right now, the big thing that I've kind of is that, because I do have an address, I have a friend who works in LA. And so I use her address when I'm applying for LA positions. They still ain't call me, darn it. Well, Discovery Channel, they're part of LA, but still, I'm trying to get other things, but that's another thing. So, but LA is the working capital. If you wanna work, LA is there popping. Atlanta, I thought Atlanta was popping, but I've heard recently not so much. Texas, we're trying to build this film community, so there is a lot of work that's coming up. I don't know how big those productions are. The big productions that I've had were productions that were based out of LA, but they were filming in Texas. So, I don't, but so here are the things you said, well, hey, I need to go out there and start building my resume. Work on your friends' independent films or that's what I was talking about. Those, hey, we'll pay you in credit and food, or work on your friends' independent films just to gain your experience and get your resume off the ground. Again, because you want to use that not only just to gain experience, but use those to acclimate all those things. As if you think you're working on Sony or Netflix or MG, whatever it is, treat that small ABC company the same way. Not only is it going to make you look good to them, and hey, you never know the opportunities there, because the sets that I've been hired on were people who knew me from smaller sets. And they were like, yo, Freedom, there's a job. You want it? Yeah. So treat that position just like you would, if you was working for some major project. Also, you can join different PAs, production assistant social media platforms to learn about career opportunities. Talk with and network with other PAs. They may know of jobs available. And if you're a good PA, hey, they're gonna, let them know, hey, I'm open. Let them know you're not on a project. And hey, if you're available, they'll reach out to you. Finally, just to take some time again to really figure out what position you like and begin networking with the folks in that department. So if you are, okay, hey, I want to be a producer. I'm a PA right now. You're still doing production work, but you definitely need to join places, producer associations, or networking. So because you're learning that as well. So just again, know where you're going, know your goal. And so I put an example. Did I put that on the side, the example on the set PA? But so I'm gonna use it. Is that on another slide? Is that on the next one? Okay, no. Okay, well, we'll go back. Well, I'm gonna use the example. So if you're doing, so generally the hierarchy or whatever career path for a set PA, generally a set PA starts at a set PA. They can be they gravitate to a key PA, kind of like a team lead. Then they can go to a production coordinator, unit production manager, line producer, or creative producer. And sometimes out of that, you may come to a second assistant director, and you can move up the track to that. So again, that's just an example of when to how it is to stay focused and know where it is that you want to go. Can I say stay focused again? I'm gonna say it again. Stay focused. Stay focused. Okay, so I put together a couple of links. That's the next slide. These are just a few. I didn't list because if you do a search on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, there are lots. You can find tons of these, but these are the major ones. Staff Me Up, Media Match, Stage 32, both Production Hub, Stage 32, and Staff Me Up are always sending me things that I'm applying for. And so you can just get on your profile and, good luck. Apply for everything. This is when somebody gave me advice. Apply for everything. Even if you don't think that you're kind of qualified, just apply for that joker. Because you would be surprised. I mean, I've had positions where it's just like, oh, well, okay, I know I applied. Well, thank you. Yes. Okay. Yes. I go read my little book like, okay, I know how to do it. I do know how to do it. I wouldn't. Don't apply for the director position if you've never directed. I'm not saying be crazy. Hello, but I'm just saying, if you have been a PA for a long time and you think you're ready to be that production coordinator, apply for it. So the next slide, we'll talk about the PA toolkit. Okay, the essentials. All right then. So you got your first gig. You excited? I know the feeling. Do you have everything you need to be successful on your first day? No? Well, here are a few items you need to have with you at all times. So I don't know, I hope y'all can see it. So you're gonna, remember they used to make fun of you or make fun of people who had the fanny pack? Listen, this is, hey, you're gonna love this thing. Fanny pack. Now, when I'm on some major sets, I have my big trusty dusty industrial fanny pack. Can y'all see it? Yeah, I hope I put it in there. So this one has a little water bottle, has everything that I need to put in here. What do you need to put in there? Okay. Basically, petty cash, receipts, pens, pencils. Oh, I have a little pad that I keep with me. Somebody gives you some instructions, tell you to do something. You don't think you're going to remember. Jot, put it down, and you got it. I have also my power, it's like a little, I keep it charged. And so sometimes I may be just, standing, waiting for orders. Somebody may say, oh my goodness, my phone is about to die or the battery's about to die. Honey, on all sides, you can go ahead and plug in a USB, boom. So I have a little backup. So now, and also I was gonna say, I mentioned petty cash. Guys, never, 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 never let someone tell you to pay for something using your own money. I get this a lot. They'll say, oh, can you get da 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 da, and I'll pay you back. Unless you know that person, you're familiar, you've worked on sets with them a lot, never do that. Always get their money and or their card, and you use their card. Also, whatever it is that you pay for, a good tip, take a picture of the receipt, text it to them, and also keep an envelope in your fanny pack to keep that receipt there. Why? Because a lot of times they're like, do you still have that receipt? Oh, I lost that receipt. Nope, I took a picture. Here you go. Because if you're the production coordinator, you're having to reconcile that petty cash. So every penny that you spent, you got to reconcile it. So you need to keep all receipts. So that's just the little, it's on your little belt, little essentials. Did I say so? Did I make sure that? Okay. Anyway, but now I also wanted to add over time that I have found that my time, that there's been things that as a PA that I would see that, most people would always ask me to either run errands to get, or there'd be this frantic call, where is it? So I do have, I call it my Big Bertha. Okay, it's over there. But if you want to be indispensable as a production assistant, invest in your gear. So the list I'm about to show you, I borrowed it from the production assistant pocketbook, and I added a few things of my own. So do you have the gear list? Do we have a slide on the gear list?
No, we don't.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So so one of the things is, okay, so I'm gonna go through them real quickly. Clipboard, not just any clipboard, the aluminum clipboard that opens, I don't know if you've seen it, kind of opens up and allows you to put paper in it. So if you have one of those, you can take this outside. I've used it plenty of times, especially when I'm on location on outside. Like I'm not inside of a building, but I'm outside. Those are just awesome because you don't have an office to put things in. But like when you signing releases or any type of paperwork you need to get signed, you can sign it on the clipboard and then tuck it into the little casing that it has for the paperwork. I've already talked about having backup for us and things to keep your phones charged. So make sure you always, a PA should never, and I have been guilty of this, but a PA their phone should never be dead. But I have been guilty of that. Leather Swiss Army knife. I actually have it in here. I keep, now this right here, this thing right here is, I pretty much use this one the most, because what I've also found that when I'm on as a PA, people will want me to do AC, like AC work sometimes. So this is like my PA/AC work. And with this comes, whoop. So for whatever reason, don't be surprised if you're a PA and they're like, can you go out there and slate? So that, which is AC work. But I bring that because oftentimes, especially on smaller projects, I'm asked to do some AC work. I have my trusty dusty little markers, my little markers for the actors. They love me for this. Oh, look, if I just read my list, I don't have to do it and show you that. It's all in here. But anyway, I was going to show you my leather. I call it the leather. See that? Can you see it? Oh my gosh, it has everything. You're going to love this. You need this. I promise you, you're going to love it. Can I say it enough? Yeah, gonna love that. Okay. So a few pain relievers of your choice. I always keep like the little packets of Advil or aspirin, and I also have a big bottle of it because I've never been on set where someone has not asked me, anybody got Advil? Anybody got some Tylenol? So I have the individual packets that I just keep. It's good, especially, if, the director or somebody has a headache, it's about to go downhill. Here, give it to them. I've actually, one time I lucked up because I had a first aid kit, and the key grip was actually had some allergies going. We thought we was going to have to let him go to go get some medication. Had it in my first aid kit. Boom, we were good. We were able to continue shooting. They loved me. So sunblock, umbrella, chewing gum. Now he put this on here, but I've never had to do chewing gum. But if you need chewing gum, maybe to give to people by the time, whatever. A map of the areas. PAs should never be lost. This is, especially if you're on a big production set, you should have a map or a layout of this area, because I promise you, all they're going to do is tell you to go. And they're going to assume that you've read the map and you know where to go. So just if you're in a big location, a big area, look at the map, ask your production coordinator or your production supervisor, and they should be able to help you facilitate that. But you should have a map of where you're going, because normally they're just going to say, hey, go to gate A or go to door this. And you gotta go running into the abyss as if you already know where you're going. Black Sharpie pen, nothing but the best. Pen and pencil, like I said before. Change. A lot of times, especially if you're parking. I had just one recently where we were parked at downtown Dallas, and so there was parking meters. So having change, and I was able to do change for myself as well as the director. You know what I'm saying? So we could park because he didn't have it, but I did, right? I wasn't AD then, but I wasn't I wasn't a PA on that set, but had I been a PA, I still would have had a little bit of change, because that's just what it brings. Small pad, I've already sent you that. Now he put on here a lighter. I don't know what you need a lighter for. That was his suggestion. I can't tell you why, but hey, if you need a lighter, you just need a lighter. Gaffer's tape. If anybody has been on, gaffer's tape is gold. I've seen gaffer's tape put things together. I mean, it's better than super glue. So yes, gaffer's tape. I should have put a star by that. Gaffer's tape. Flashlight. If you are filming in the dark, sometimes I've been in situations where we've had to do a quick change with the camera, and the camera person they can't find. And so guess what I do? Flash their flashlight. Here you go. Boop, 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 boop. All these things to help other people out. Envelopes, again, for the receipts. An old sweatshirt, towel. Sometimes you may need to go out there and change, or maybe, have something to kind of wipe down if it's hot. If it's raining, good old poncho, weather resistant poncho, a hat, extra bricks, radio batteries. Bricks are code word for radio batteries. So if a lot of times when you're on set and you're using walkies, you'll be in charge for having a brick on you. So if somebody says, hey, I need a brick, you'll be able to give them a brick. And a pack of tissues. Now I'm gonna add that I've also had blot paper. I know that's kind of crazy, but in some of these smaller projects, blot paper is just the bomb. Like, when they can't afford like a makeup artist, the whole time, but then so the actor or actress, they're sweating, blot paper, get all that sweat off. They love me for that. I love it too. Okay, so and so the need to know, let me tell you, I learned this one the hard way. The need to know lingo. So I remember my first professional job as a production assistant. I was feeling confident. Boom, got this in the bag. Discovery Channel loving me, So we was working outside. So I missed the little description where it says, hey, we're going to be using walkies. Guys, And this is, you may not see this a lot on small projects, but I cannot stress to you enough that you need to have this. It literally almost cost me the job. And the only reason why it didn't cost me the job is because I knew the project coordinator, and I literally had to think quick on my feet, and that is walkie-talkie, or what I call it, walkie-talkie. I don't know. Is there another word for it? Jeanette, is it walkie-talkie? Is it walkie-talkie? Okay, anyway, if it's not, okay. Is it? Yes, okay, good. Thank you. So I mean, like Go for Freedom or this. I mean, she literally had to do, like, we're sitting on the side like, Freedom, do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know? And I was like, I was writing it down, like, because we were outside, and so we were in different locations, and they were needing to send me in different places. I didn't know how to talk to talk on the walkie-talkie. It was crazy, and it was so crazy because when I researched online, nobody told me that I needed to know this. But if you're talking about being on any major set, you have to know the lingo for, whether it's copy, how to, when somebody's Go for Freedom, what does that mean? What does 10-1 mean? You need to know. So, practice, practice, practice. So, and a lot of times your experience, if you say that you have experience with that, sometimes that makes you look so experienced that they're like, okay, yeah, because I think on that project, it was like $250 a day. Come on, y'all. And they was getting me for miles. I think for 2 days, I made for 2 days worth of work, I made about $1,100, $1,200 something dollars. And it was, yeah. So, but I'm just saying, I almost missed it because I literally that night went home and like pulled up walkie-talkie lingo and was just like going over it, like, oh, because the next day she just like, you're gonna be on your own, sink or swim. You gotta figure it. If you can't, then I gotta get another one. And so she did me a solid the first day, but I had to. So yeah, you definitely need to know that lingo. So the next slide, we're gonna talk about the do's and don'ts of set etiquette. Guys, if I could say this a million times, you can almost not know anything about being a production assistant, but if you can, and these things I'm about to tell you, I'm gonna tell you, these little things right here can make you look so favorable. People will take you even if you don't have any experience, if you have these things right here. The biggest mistake and key to many PAs failing to progress into other opportunities is their sense of entitlement. Film projects can be long and tedious, and no department head wants to hear what you did for your last project or what you learned in film school. It doesn't make you sound impressive, and it can be a deterrent from getting hired for another job opportunity. You are working with folks who have been doing this longer than you, and they really desire to teach someone who has an open mind and enthusiasm about film business. So be humble. Leave your ego at home. I can't count. I mean, the biggest thing, and you'll have people who are like, yeah, I want to be a director. I want to be a producer. Oh, I shot a couple of videos. Oh, I shot this movie. You're a production assistant. If they hired you to be a production assistant, they want you to be a production assistant. And a lot of times people's ego, they just, somebody shouting at you and telling you to go, you almost feel like, yo, wait, what? But that's the nature of the beast. I'm not saying it's cool for somebody to shout at you. Oftentimes I'm not been shouted at, but I'm just saying, you're not the director, you're not the producer, you're not the big shot at this particular one. You're a production assistant. And no matter how many things you've done, you're here because you haven't got a reputation as a director or as a producer. You're building your blocks just like everybody else had to. So leave your ego at home. Leave your ego. Leave it at home, guys. Leave it. Okay, so now every project is different. Some last for days, others a few months. Regardless of the differences on film, television, or commercial project, I can assure you that the expectations for the production assistant pretty much are the same. So I've completed what I call the Big Ten to get in. Yeah. So if you follow these items, I promise you, your name will always be on somebody's list to be hired. Number one, should I say anything about that? Be on time. What did I tell you? First person on set, last person to leave. Number two, listen carefully to avoid mistakes. Don't be, and that goes into my three. Two and three kind of works together. Three says don't be afraid to ask questions if you're not sure how to do something. So you're listening to, I mean, yeah, you got your pad if you need it. Listen the first time. You don't, if they, and if you don't catch it, don't be afraid to say, something, I apologize, I didn't get it. Can you say it one more time, or get some type of instructions? They would prefer for you to do that than to spend 5 minutes making a mistake and then they have to do it, or they have to send somebody else to do whatever that it is they asked you. So listen very carefully to avoid mistakes. But if you miss something, don't be afraid to ask if you're not sure. Look busy. If you're not busy, find something to do, because there is a thing about perception. Because in TV land, production land, the PAs are supposed to be running around. So when you see a production assistant sitting down talking to someone, what do you think? You're like, and if you're a camera person, or if you're somebody and everybody's frantic trying to get, then it kind of looks weird to look back and see the PA sitting down, not doing something. So you should always be attentive. If there's not something to do, and one trick is that sometimes you don't have anything to do. I know what I try to do is kind of like be out of sight, out of mind. So maybe I may kind of fall back where you can't really see me, but I'm close enough to where if I hear somebody call my name, I can be like, okay, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Because, there are periods where there is nothing to do, but if for whatever reason, when you see a PA sitting down, it just looks bad. When you see movies or see like videos of PAs, they're normally always standing up. They're propped up on a wall, waiting. They're waiting. So seeing someone sitting there talking, it just makes you look like, oh, well, he got a whole bunch of time on his hand, he or she. So look busy. Just look busy. Be respectful to everyone. Remain professional. If you're in charge of crafty or getting food, take it seriously. Often the mood of the set can change when food is not provided on time or craft snacks and liquids run out. Let me tell you, I was on a major project, and this is day one. We had a professional actor. He had been with Martin Scorsese or whatever. He's got like 67 films under his belt, right? So the person who was supposed to bring crafty, she forgot it. And so she lived so far. We was like, okay. It was just, the whole day just sucked. Everything, the lights, it was just a sucky day. So he walked off the set. We had to end up getting a new actor. He walked off the set. Can I tell you, his biggest complaint was that when I knew there was a problem when I walked in the door and there was no craft table. I mean, I was thinking like he would have complained about having to wait, because no, that people will judge you based on that craft table. So if you're a PA and you're over the crafty table, I cannot tell you the seriousness of making sure that food is there. If there's something running out, tell your production supervisor or production coordinator, or your line producer. You maintain that, because you'll see people will stop. I've seen the mood change when it was one set that I came in halfway and I was like, where's the craft table? I said, oh, we didn't know we needed one. I was like, really? So I go in, whoop, 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 whoop. Everybody's like, oh, thank you. Whole mood just lifted because you got snacks and drinks and water. I'm telling you, it's like, I don't know, crack. I don't know, whatever it is. But that crafty table needs to be well looking good. Be a team player. It's not a time to be independent. You're working on a project. We're all working together for one purpose, which is to get this film done and out the door into the universe so somebody can sit down and enjoy it. Dress comfortable, but be professional. Generally, I like dark colors because in the very beginning, I used to be found on cameras. You don't want something that's reflective. So black, dark colors, blue jeans, comfortable shoes, guys, because you're going to be standing up for 10 to 12 hours or running and walking. So comfortable shoes, dress comfortable, be professional. Come with a positive attitude. You know, it's going to be, there are many days where I've just been like, oh my gosh. But as a PA, sometimes your positive attitude is what inflicts, you know, on the people that you're working with. And when they're seeing you positive, they're like, you know, we can get through this. So don't add, it's already a hectic thing to be on a project. Don't add to the hectic nature or the negative nature. Be positive. Okay. And last but not least, have fun. Hopefully you're in this business because you really enjoy filmmaking. You know what I'm saying? You really enjoy it. You want to have, so have fun. I mean, I've met so many people, had so many amazing experiences with different people. I have a lot of fun when I get on the set. When I go home at night, I have good stories to tell. So have fun, guys. So, okay. So, oh, and the last one, I forgot about the last one. It is super, it is super important. And this is if you, when you've been doing back to back, I've been where you've been doing back to back. Um, uh, I'm not at the conclusion in QA yet, but that's okay if you want to leave it up. It's super important that you do. I didn't put that on there. Okay, so the third one I wanted to say, which was take care of yourself. So the last, taking care of yourself is super important that you don't work yourself so hard that you potentially may experience burnout. It happens. I mean, you're like, I have a friend, oh my gosh, I love her. And my gosh, she's like, she's so super smart. She's so good, but she'll like take on the weight and it's just like, I don't know if I want to do this. And it can definitely happen where you may experience burnout. Um, it's true that you will work long hours. Try to find what works best for you in order to take care of yourself while you're on set during downtime so you don't get burnt out. If you're on an ongoing project, if you have off days, try to rest and rejuvenate instead of partying, late night drinking. Keep your body will thank you the next morning. It will, especially for us fresher people. You know, sometimes they may call an extra day, you know, a day that they didn't have on the schedule. So, you know, you be mindful of that. Keep your, you know, protein sex, fluids, something, stretching, meditation, you know, whatever it is. The key thing is finding what puts you in a good space, which will allow you to maintain a positive attitude while you're on the set. You know, when you're in a positive mindset, it really does affect those around you, and it makes their experience with you memorable. Because mind you, we want that next job. So, all right then. So finally, this is my in my conclusion. In my conclusion. So finally, guys, being a PA is also a weird test with only one question. Are you willing to become the best PA you can, even though you know you won't be a PA for long? The logic behind this is that the people above you have paid their dues and they proved their passion to themselves, not to just others. And many times they expect you to do the same. Um, Communication is key. I wanted to reiterate this. I put this on here. I think I probably should have said it earlier, but I want to say this before I leave, but that you must be able to communicate in a firm. Yet, yes, I wanted to add this because I had a recent issue. And when it talks about communicating or knowing how to communicate on set, it reminded me, and this woman, I mean, she was one, honey, she came and she was screaming. Yeah, I was like, so you don't have my glasses. I was like, but now I just was like, I just said, okay. So I went, did what she had to do. And so, while I was going, I was processing because I'm like, I know she just did disrespect me. I didn't know she was. I said, Freedom, just calm it down, whatever, whatever, whatever. So when I get back, so I said, are you having a bad day? Is everything okay? And it was like floodgates, yeah, da 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 da. I am so sorry. Wop, 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 wop. I had to add that because, when it comes to, when you think of how your words may affect a project, you have to be able to communicate in a firm yet non-confrontational way. It was upsetting, and I could have been like, who are you talking to? That instantly affects your project. You have to think of the big picture when you're in those type of situations. I just came and just said, well, maybe she's having a bad day. Is everything okay? Of course, she instantly apologized. And this is yeah, I'm wrapping it up. I'm wrapping it up. But I had to add that because, if you appear upset or negative, that may affect the atmosphere of the project. If you are unsure of your communication skills, ask the PA, ask the friend, ask the manager to give you feedback when it comes to interpersonal skills. I know he just flew across the screen. So take the job seriously, guys. I know that was a little random, but I just had that recently, and I was just like, you don't know, a lot of people will start arguing and whatever, and you don't know that affects the total atmosphere of the set. And so you have to be very key when you're communicating, making sure that even if it's something that is not your fault, but you're communicating in a way, or sometimes having to wait when you communicate so it doesn't affect the overall project. Anyway, so take the job seriously, guys. I've met some very super amazing people on every project that I've worked on, and I can honestly say that taking the job seriously, great communication skills, and having a great attitude has opened up numerous doors for me. I hope I was able to express my passion for filmmaking and my appreciation for those who have worked or are working as production assistants. Now, at this time, if anyone has any questions for me, fire away. That's a journey. Fire away. I don't know if y'all may not be old enough to remember that song. So, any questions for me?
Yes, I have a question. Sorry, I look a mess. It's been a long day. What should your resume look like as a PA? Like, how do you put it together once you've gotten a couple of jobs? Because I know what an acting resume looks like, but I don't know what like a PA resume looks like.
For when I first started out, it was very short, and I had a cover letter. So because mind you, I was coming from a financial background, and so I didn't have a lot. So I had a cover letter, and basically my cover letter just was delicious. Yo, I'm fabulous and amazing, and these are my skills, But then because you're new, so when I would generally just list the name of the film, name of the production company, and your position as PA, your other information. But when you don't have a good cover letter, just to explain, to say, hey, I've been an actress, and I really want to, venture into this. So you let your cover letter be that introduction for you.
Okay, thank you.
I know I got more questions. Come on. Ready. I'm ready.
Hi, Freedom. I just want to say that I don't have a question because let me tell you, you covered everything. The questions that I did have or thought I would have had, you answered those. And you did an amazing job at delivering all the information. And you really, I saw a comment in the chat. It looks like it came from Freddie and said, Freedom did an excellent job, left no stone unturned. Clearly, she loved what she does. Priceless info. The info, I agree, is priceless. And the energy and the way that you are, I learned some as a director. And I wish a lot of directors would have been on this call because you just really shed a lot of light on what I should be expecting from a PA. You know, yeah, I mean, and so you really shed a lot of light on that, and not only that, what I should be doing, my expectation for the PA, but what the PA expectations are of me as a director. So thank you for everything that you shared, because there was a lot of things that I think that the PA is good to have, but there's a lot of those little toolkits, things that we should, as directors, should be able to supply as well. So thank you. That was very informative.
Awesome and amazing. Again, like I said, everything it's passionate for me, you know, because again, in my job, I'm often responsible for telling PAs, you know, or putting them in certain position or putting them along with different departments. And so I've just seen so many, just like I said, nice people, but you're like, in my mind, and here's another thing, in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't want to hire them anymore. There's people who, great people, but if you said to me, hey, Jeanette, do you have hey, Freedom, do you have a PA? There's people that, good people, I would never put them on your set because they're not gonna do, and there's people who, I could name 5 people right now. If I needed a PA, come in, great attitude, great energy, bop, 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 I'd hire them on the spot. And they're not going to be a PA for long. But my thing is that when it comes to this project that I'm on, the energy that we need, someone who's going to be a go-getter, who I don't have to worry about having to hold their hand and, oh, don't say anything, or, you know, they're just coming in, they're going to do a fantastic, and they love filmmaking, they love to be there, you know. So yeah, it's you know, it's, and so like I said, I get an opportunity to be around PAs all the time. And so I kid you not, and they'll tell me, oh, I want to be this and I want to be that, but they'll handle the production assistant like it's like, I'm like, no, you got to cut your teeth on that. You got to cut your teeth on that. So are we wrapping up? No, I'm surprised. Where do you get? Okay, so now you can either, now I think I mentioned the production assistant pocketbook. If you Google it, you should be able to find it. The production assistant's pocketbook diary handbook, production assistant's handbook. Do I even have it? I may even have it. I'm gonna tell you, that was it's a guy. Actually, you can print it. I used to print it, and I had one for myself, but you can print it and just have it. But it has like the basic, but you can go to any and just search. I keep thinking walkie-talkie is it's outdated. So, but you can search that lingo. But you know, he has a kind of like a brief summary, but it goes even further because, you know, I found his thing when I needed it for the Discovery Channel, and I need to think of lingo. So I was like searching, and then I ran across his deal. And so he gave me a little basic, but it's a lot more that you can have. You can just search for it. Yeah, copy that. 10-1, go for test, how to test when you're testing, running in, or give me a hot, you know, those things when because they're, as a PA, especially on a big project, you could be on the south side of the building and they want something on the north. By the time you've ran, you got to be able to say, hey, I'm flying in water, I'm coming, it's coming right now, because they're waiting on you. And so your response, yeah. So that you can either go, like I said, to the production assistance pocket handbook. It's gonna wear me until I find it. Hold on. It is the production assistance pocket handbook. I promise you. Now, like I said, that was one of the key things one of my resources when I first became a production assistant. And then a lot of stuff I learned through my experience, right? But there were one of the things that I used this handbook for was when I had to learn lingo and I was blessed to find it because she was literally like, if you don't know that tomorrow, I'm gonna have to let you go. And so I was like, dang. So I literally went home and was trying to find, and so this was enough to get me through for that day. But there's still other lingo that you just have to research it. You just have to research it.
I have one more question for you. Going back to the map, are maps usually given to production assistants on big sets, or do you have to ask for it? And if so, you said ask the production coordinator or production supervisor?
Yes. Generally, they should. Let me say this. They should. They should. They really should. So, but if just say if you're on the set of MGM and you're doing, or Tyler Perry or OWN, you don't know that set, and so if they don't give it to you, I would reach out. Like I said, either you're going to have a key PA, you're going to have a production supervisor, or you're going to have there's going to be someone who you report to. If you don't have a map, ask for it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the best, and hopefully they should be able to give you a map, or somebody should be, because they know how big the production is. So there's normally, now the big places that they were outside, so it was really easy. So I didn't really need a map, but I know other friends who worked for like Oprah Winfrey set, one for Tyler Perry. And so I think she did on Oprah, they did have like a map, kind of like, hey, you get here, this is the bill. So they kind of acclimate you so you know where to go. But I'm sure that if you should be able to ask your production assistant or someone to be able to give you a map. And if not, the best thing I can tell you is keep your eyes and ears open and try to learn fast. Because, okay. I mean, really, because it should be given to you. But sometimes you kind of have to say, yeah, I saw that building on that. Is that the building you're talking about? Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be observant, and, hopefully you always get a map.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Freedom.
Hey, Twyla, how you doing?
I have a question. Okay, my question is, what advice would you give if you want, while working on sets, you've been asked to do PA, and you're trying to break out of that, per se, that particular role and go into other roles, but people that you work with, they love you as a PA. What advice would you give on that? Because you're trying to, like you said, you're trying to move up the ladder and focus on other aspects of production, but they want you, they like you being a PA.
Mm-hmm. And I had that conversation. There was one guy, I'd worked on like maybe 4 or 5 of his projects. So the last time that he called me, I just had a conversation with him. I said, I'm really not doing a lot of production assistant work. Let me send you my updated resume, because now for him, I'd already been doing other positions in that position. The best now, how I got to that is it kind of goes back to how you did with production. I'm looking at I got the production assistant handbook pulled up. I keep looking at it when the camera is here. Sorry about that, guys. But it kind of goes back the same way with when you said doing, when I said about doing stuff for your friends or taking that credit for free, that the thing for credit and free food. If you say, I want to learn how to be a line producer, then you need to start looking for those type of opportunities where they say, hey, we need a line producer. We can pay you credit and food. Okay, but it gives you the opportunity to use those skills. It's going to be a smaller production, but again, the purpose is cutting your teeth, right? So you're learning on those smaller productions. So then when somebody says, I got a paid gig, you're not learning on a paid gig. You're learning, and then at that point, you should be applying for other productions. But it's the same level with PA, if you once you figured out where you want to go, okay, whatever that may be, you should be looking, asking your friends, hey, you know something, I'm really interested in costume. Your next project, can I be the costume person? You know, you're not going to get paid for it, but you're going to get the experience. You're going to get an opportunity to be acclimated, you know, learn the different things and get that underneath your belt. Then, like you said, if someone comes and says, oh, I want you to be a PA, you just have a conversation. Let me show you my updated resume. Because right now, what I'm trying to focus on is this particular position right here. And so, you know, they may be like, okay, or they may say, no, I need a production assistant. It can go either or.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. No other questions. I'm here, people. I'm here to give you all that you need. Okay, then. Well, are we wrapping up, guys? Are we wrapping up, Jeanette? Are we wrapping it up? Ooh, look at that.
It sounds like we are. No more questions?
I do one more.
Go ahead.
Because I'm a note person. Is it possible for us, Freedom, to get this PowerPoint for the you know, the notes I could not write down? Because I like taking notes.
You know something, I don't know. I have not a clue. That would be something I think. Can we get that, or are we able to get that, Jeanette? Or
it's your information. That's up to you.
Okay.
I can send it to you. I mean, we got their email, so yeah, we can send it out. It's up to you if you know, that's your info.
You know something, because I mean, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Thank you.
So yeah, if anybody wants it, just let me know in the chat and we'll send it to you. If anybody wants the information, and say a big ups for Jeanette, who did all the artistic work, because I couldn't do it. But it looked amazing.
Hello. You're welcome, sweetie.
All right, well, you know something? If no one has any more questions, I'm gonna tell you, good luck on your journey. You know, when you are following, I call it, I like to say God path. Like, you know, you set your mind on this vision or this dream that you have, and you're starting these steps, this pathway. And, you know, what is it? Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. So you're walking this path. Steps of the righteous man are ordered by the Lord. Yeah, so you're walking this path of filmmaking. You don't know where it's going to go, but you just have this dream. You have this desire. So, you know, I just, you know, just say, hey, you know, awesome. Hopefully my words, any type of words that were given was just enough to assist you on your path to, whether it be in filmmaking, whether it be just a better actor, whether it be, hey, I want to start my own production company, whatever it may be. You know, I just hope that, you know, these little nuggets was any type of way of blessing to you. So y'all be blessed. Have such an awesome and amazing day. I look forward to seeing these names on credits.
Yes.
All right.
And before she sign off, you guys are welcome to take pictures if you haven't already been screenshotting or whatever, and definitely tag her in them. I think she did an amazing job in this masterclass, and I know that this is not going to be her last, because she's good at it. I mean, you're natural. It's great job. Great job.
Well, here's the thing is that so we're going in next month. I'm doing the networking your way into your next gig. So basically these are just principles, things that because this is a networking business. And so I cannot tell you the importance of being able to network, because a lot of times your networking gets you the job. When you see, especially on big productions, you know, if you see someone listing a job, they've already hired a bulk of people from people that they just know or got referred to them. So you want to be in the position in which you are in the loop, you know what I'm saying? All of those things, you have a good reputation, all those good things. And we're going to talk about that next month when it comes to networking your way into your next gig, because we got to keep working now. We got to keep on working. We got to get that money. So yeah, so just got to be coming out next month. I forget the date, but we'll give you that. But that's coming out next month. So yummy. All right then. Well, hey, I'm about to push this. Is it me to push the sign off button, or do you need me to stay?
You can push it.
Look. Hi guys.